Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the transatlantic number Sf Op50Rh-DU. This is an Eldora style offset pivot set in a dark bronze finish and right hand. Let's just do a visual tour of the parts first. First of all, here's the frame bracket, and this is really the item that makes it handed, where this notch falls is what will make this a handed unit. Okay. Then moving up from there, you have the bottom portion, and that's going to sit right like that and give you that sort of installation. Moving up from there, you've got the bottom door portion that will sit right there. Okay. This is for a door that would swing out like this. Moving up from there, you've got the top door portion with its spindle, and then of course the header portion here that mates together like that. Now, let's go over the pieces one by one with some dimensional review. First of all, this is for Eldora manufactured doors. It's their design and their type of pivot. This is a 3/4 inch offset pivot, and that means basically from the face of the door to the center line of the pivot, that's 3/4 inch. That's what that means. Other pivot offsets are available, but not in storefront hardware generally. These pivots are engineered for great durability, style, and versatility. The cases are aluminum, and the material has a nice fit and finish on it. Race ball bearings that are in there. An 1/8 of an inch vertical adjustment is inherent. You loosen that set screw that's in there, then you can rotate this bottom spindle stud and give yourself that 1/8 of an inch adjustment. Okay. Good design pivots are because the entire weight of the door is borne on the floor, not hanging on the frame whatsoever. The top pivot really just keeps the door from falling out, so not much pressure there. Durable, all-weather acrylic coating protects pivot from deterioration. Top portion, they say it has a spring-loaded hardened pin, but this model is not spring-loaded whatsoever. Okay. Your installation of this will allow you to get it inside the top portion and the tip that door's in is how that actually works. When the door is in the locked position, these pivots become burglar-proof. And in what they're saying is, when the door's closed, you can't get to these screws to pull this out. You can't get, obviously, when the door is closed, to the screws that will hold the top pivot in place either. So in a closed position, it's quite, vandal-proof or tamper-proof is the bottom line. This is a right-hand pivot, and again, what determines that is this plate. If the notch was cut over on this side, it would be simply a left hand. Okay, let's go over these parts dimensionally now, with the intention that this will help you determine if this is the right set for you. 2-inch overall height. On the frame portion, the width of that is 1.25 inches. The overall width, 3 inch. Overall length, I should say. Width of the floor portion, about 1 7/8 inches. Width back here, again, is 1.25 inches, and then keep in mind that that's about 1 7/8 inches. So the difference there is that 5/8 or so. Okay, those holes are located there. You can see where I'm measuring to where those center lines would fall. Then, what looks like a threshold, or the bottom portion, the overall width of that is 4.5 inches. Overall length, width of the item, about 1 9/16 or 1 5/8. Thickness of that portion is 1/2 inch. And then again, you get an 1/8 of an inch adjustment on that spindle, threading it up or down and then tightening that set screw back up. Then, the door portion. Overall height, 1.11/16. Then you can see where the centers to those tapped holes are. You're about 5/16 on the first one, or 3/8. And then the bottom one's about 1 5/16. And those are exactly in the center of that 1 3/8 or so width, right at about 11/16. Okay. Moving up from there, the top pivot door portion, overall width, overall height, about 1 3/8 inches. Again, you can see where the screw holes fall in, about 5/16, and then down to about 1 1/4 inches. Width on that, about 1 3/8 inches, and that hole's in the center again. Projection of the top pin, 1/2 inch. Now, the header portion. Let's see, you've got about 5/8 of an inch overall thickness, 11/16, but the portion back here is 1/2 inch, and you've got about that 3/16 worth of plastic bushing that's here. Overall width of the item, about 2.5. Measuring from the shoulder back, you can see where those preparations are, those funny preparations are where you'll drive the screws up and thread cut them to hold it into the header. That first hole is at about 5/8 of an inch. Then the next one is about 1 1/8 inches. Okay. And then about 1 inch width. Screws are included. You're going to get, of course, the finish bolts that are in the matching color for the, obviously for the floor plate you'll get. Yeah, and then you are going to get the screws that you'll need to hold the top portion into the header. And then you'll get the hex cap screws, 4 of them, and that's for attaching these items through the hollow tube of the door at the bottom and the top, so you can secure that down. There is a link below this video to a document called Instructions, and that's very handy to have because it will allow you to review this pivot and some other items. It's not necessarily instructions per se, it's better called a catalog cut sheet or a product brochure would be a more apt name for it. There is finally a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up the full line product catalog from Transatlantic and review all things hardware from them. They have a variety of categories of hardware, obviously storefront hardware. Of note, they're doing aluminum continuous geared hinges, lock sets, exit devices, door closers, standard butt hinges as well. I'm partial to Transatlantic, and it's because of a history of having bought their material over many, many years and have come to rely on the dependable shipping, the very fair price, and the high quality performance of most of the product line. If you have any questions on the Transatlantic Sf Op50Rh DU right-hand dark bronze offset pivot set for an Eldora type door or any other Transatlantic product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.